Hey guys, welcome back to the 208 Breakdown. Today we are going to discuss the new Odyssey movie directed and written by Christopher Nolan. Today we're going to be grading and discussing this film that came out a couple weeks ago. And let's get right into it, doing the normal stuff that we do when it comes to movies, rankings, gradings, all that, etc., etc. If you've seen my YouTube short on the grade that I gave this movie, you already know that the general vibe of what I'm going to be talking about on this sort of episode, specifically for this movie. And let's get right into it. So, obviously, we got the visual effects category. Is the movie necessary? Acting and performance, storyline, and my personal enjoyment. And we're gonna mix it up a little bit. We're gonna start from last to first based on what I've done in my previous episodes of this kind of content, grading and discussing movies. So we're gonna start with the my enjoyment category just to start it off. So just to give a good punch right away, I gave this 5 stars. This movie is probably, I'm just gonna say it now, being a week or two after I've seen this movie, this is probably a top 10 movie in my opinion. I enjoyed this movie so much. I actually want to go back and see it in theaters. Probably not though, because you know I'm broke, so that's great. And it's a mythological thrill ride, and it's based on poetic reasoning, and it has some historical value as well. This movie is not made for it to be a historically correct film. In my opinion, at least, the story is made to really set the tone of what the Homer-based book story of the Odyssey was about. I don't think there is as much historical accuracy as there is mythological accountants in this film. But it's a 3 hour long insane journey. It actually doesn't feel like 3 hours long. I thought it went pretty quick for the runtime. It was about 172-minute runtime, if I remember right. And it really doesn't feel like a 3 hour movie. It's a great watch, and again, probably a top 10 movie in my opinion ever. And it's just really cool, and this is a movie that you have to go watch at some point, whether it's theatrical or at home. It'll probably be on Peacock in 1 or 2 months, or any other platform there. But yeah, 5 stars for the my enjoyment category. Great watch. Now we're gonna go to storyline. I gave the storyline category 5 stars. The Odyssey was written around the 8th or 7th century BCE, before the Common Era. That is the original story based off of Homer's work, and it's wrote by the blind poet Homer. This story includes Greek mythology. It includes the Trojan War. It has Lord Agamemnon in it. It has Odysseus. It has Telemachus. It has all of these characters that really bring a really clear view of what life was like back in that era when we had when there was the Trojan War in that area of the world, which is modern day Turkey. Included Greece. The main characters that are represented in this film are from Ithaca, an island in Greece, and the storyline is just really set at a very interestingly great concept. It's non-linear, so the storyline is not based in a straight path of time. So this happens, this happens, this happens. It's non-linear, so it has portions of the movie where this happens, and then you jump 10 years, and then you're jumping back 5 years, and then you just skip. There's a non-linear side of the movie, which some people don't necessarily like that concept, but I do. I think it is a unique concept that Nolan has done for years in his movies, and it's really enjoying to me, just because it's a different idea of things in modern filmmaking and movie making. So there is that. The Trojan War, the violence in it really shows how terribly violent this war was and how awful people went through this sort of tragic time. And Greek mythology, there's not trying to spoil anything, but there's monsters in it, obviously. And the crazy thing is, we'll get to this more in the visual effects part of it, but there's no CGI, or as little CGI as possible. They use puppetry for the material in the movie that you would think needs CGI. Obviously, it's not real, but it's not CGI. It's IMAX 70 millimeter IMAX cameras and puppetry, pretty much, and that goes into my visual effects category. But the storyline concept is a really fun watch. It's really interesting. It has warlike situations. It has Greek mythology, and it kind of has a romance element that really pays off in the end. The characters going into acting and performance, really well done. Again, I definitely recommend you watch this. This is one of the movies that you need to watch this at some point in your life. Now we're going to the acting and performance category. Also gave that 5 stars as well. The movie stars Matt Damon. He plays Odysseus, the main character. Tom Holland plays his son, Telemachus. Anne Hathaway plays Penelope. Robert Pattinson plays Antinous. And John Leguizamo plays Eumaeus. So the characters, from an acting standpoint, amazingly done. It shows how impressive Matt Damon can be as an actor wise, because this is probably one of the hardest roles someone has had assigned to do. And Matt Damon says it in the documentary on Peacock on the development of how they made this film. Not an easy role, and the number of specific dialogue that had to be necessarily said right, perfect. There's moments where this has to be specifically done, nothing else. It's a really hard role to fulfill. And not just him, you got Telemachus, the son of Odysseus. Tom Holland plays that really well. Really shows how developed as an actor he has been ever since starting off, kind of rising to fame from his Spider-Man roles and doing Uncharted. And Anne Hathaway is awesome as ever, plays the wife of Odysseus, Penelope. And even from an enemy standpoint, they kind of have inner conflicts as well that don't have to generally be about the Trojan War. There is another conflict in this movie that isn't the Trojan War, and it's really played out really well. And Robert Pattinson is a very good bad guy, I must say. He's one of those actors that he can play a good guy. Like, if you've ever seen Harry Potter, he plays a good Cedric Diggory, but he's a very good bad guy, to be perfectly honest. And just the performance is just crazy well done. Nothing is necessarily boring, or nothing seems forced onto the film or anything. Like, really well done from an acting standpoint. And again, everything is real. Okay, there's no CGI. So these actors are actually doing, for example, there's a lot of boat scenes. These actors are actually on a boat in the ocean, basically where the story was based out of. It's all real and really well done, very impressive. And it makes sense. This movie cost about $250 million to make, so I wasn't surprised that it was awesomely well done from a visual and performance standpoint. So very, very, very insane stuff going on there. Now we get to is the movie necessary? Absolutely. This movie is going to be talked about for a long time. This is the kind of movie that it is. 5 stars, obviously. This movie was made entirely from IMAX and practical effects. This movie is obviously the next Christopher Nolan hit. If you've seen the box office numbers that this thing has made in the last couple of weeks, look it up. Look up the Odyssey box office numbers. It's insane. This movie is probably going to go over $1 billion. And it's an easy following. Like, as an audience member, it's very easy to keep up with, and it's really interesting. There's a lot of elements in this movie that are different, but it's a good variety where it really fits together to make a 3-hour epic that the Odyssey is. So we're going to finish out today with visual effects. I also gave that 5 stars. Very little to no CGI, like I said. IMAX tech, about $2 million. 2 million feet of film. So IMAX, 2 million feet of, that specific stuff. The movie cost $250 million to make, which included puppetry that was used for the Greek mythology elements of the movie, practical effects instead of green screens. From a visual standpoint, it's impressive because obviously it's real. It's not a CGI-based film, and there's no green screen, so nothing necessarily is fake other than obviously the puppetry and the Greek mythology part of it. But it's really impressive. And at the end of this movie, I don't know, it was like I was disappointed that it ended pretty much. I wanted this to keep on going because the story is it's a really good build up, but again there's that non-linear standpoint of it where you can jump from this point 10 years later, and then you go back 5 years. This is what happened. This is how we got here. This is how Odysseus got here. This is how Telemachus, how's he's doing, all that kind of stuff. And it's really impressive. And yeah, like I said earlier, probably a top 10 movie. The soldiers are impressive. The costume design is insane. The helmet of Agamemnon, Lord Agamemnon, is creepy as heck, and it's like tough, pretty tough. The roles were set perfectly, in my opinion. I didn't question any acting choices or anything. It's a really impressive thing, and you got to go watch it. The overall score for the Odyssey from me, after giving it the 208 breakdown, it is a 25 out of 25. So the first 25 out of 25 movie in the 208 breakdown history. Thank you so much for watching this version of movie gradings and rankings as well. The Odyssey, be sure to check it out. It's still in theaters. Again, it's an 172 minute runtime. It is about specifically I think it's a 2 hour and 50 minute movie, but yeah, 3 hour movie length. So I will say that, but it doesn't feel like 3 hours because there's so much going on, and there's no reason to be bored on this film. If you don't like violence, you may not be very fond of this movie. But if you appreciate Greek mythology and all that in that area of history, again, don't be looking for historical accuracy. This is not what this movie is about. This is not the mindset of that. It's to get the word out from the blind poet Homer, that story using Greek mythology and all that fun stuff. So, be sure to check out my On This Day in History. That next one is coming out probably later today. For the July 30th version of that, I'm also going to be ranking and not ranking. I'm going to be discussing, giving a breakdown and grading the new Pressure movie that is out on Peacock about D-Day. Real excited to do that, and appreciate you watching. Have a good day.